Good evening, everyone. I'm Iman Jamil, and I hope you all are doing well. I warmly welcome all our participants and our respected speakers to the seminar. Today marks the International Day of Education, and to highlight the importance of the quality education, the Youth Diplomacy Forum and the Bangladesh Youth Parliament has organized an international online conference on the topic of equitable quality education. The purpose of that program is to highlight the importance of quality education and equitable distribution that will be a contribution towards the UN Agenda of 2030. So we are having three speakers in row. Moving towards our first speaker, Mr. Musawar Hamid Tanoli. He is the founding president of Youth Diplomacy Forum, and he works on diplomacy and foreign affairs. Over to you, Musawar.
Thank you so much, Eamon, for your kind introduction. And definitely today is a very important day, International Day of Education by the United Nations. And as far as our underdeveloped countries are concerned, we are facing these issues that we are having very few children in schools and very few of them reached to the colleges and universities. So that is why education is very important matter for us, for Pakistan and for Bangladesh as well. So first of all, I'll be speaking about this day, what this day is about, and then I'll be discussing about our today's activity as well. That was a physical program in one of the schools in the rural areas of Islamabad. Even though it is a part of capital, but I mean, the conditions that I had seen there are not favorable, I can say. So first of all, I'll be talking about education. Today is the International Day of Education, and definitely education, we most of the time say that education is a key towards success. So unfortunately, we are unable to give education to our children. So without further delay, I'll be speaking about the UN General Assembly resolution about education that was proclaimed on 24th of January today as International Day of Education by UNGA in celebration of the role of education for peace and development. So the purpose of that resolution was basically to tell us about the role of education for peace building and for development. So definitely peace building and development, these all things are interrelated to each other. This is not just the education of children, kindergarten, primary, secondary, or tertiary, but this is about, educate the role of education in development sector and linking it towards peace. Then if we see, without, and I believe it as well, that without inclusive and equitable quality education and lifelong opportunities for all, countries will not succeed in achieving, gender equality. This is one of the reasons as well. Today I was visiting a school, and in that school I had seen that there were very few, girls studying there. So there were mostly, the children who were male children who were studying there. So definitely we have seen this gender indifference as well. Then as per the report of UNESCO, today almost 244 million children and youth are out of school. Then 771 million adults are illiterate, and their right to education is being violated, and it is unacceptable. It's time to transform education. This is what UN says, or UNICEF and other specialized agencies are also working to, at least achieve the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. They are successful or not, this is another debate, but at least they are contributing towards the sustainable development. As like we have a little platform or the organization of Youth Diplomacy Forum, and we are trying to contribute towards this agenda, that is the quality education, the SDG 4 of the UN 2030 agenda. Then, this, I told you that the purpose, if we see the agenda of this year, 2023, is of International Day is to invest in people, prioritize education. So basically, this year agenda is investment on the people and giving priority to the education. So this is an eye opener as well for us, that we have to prioritize education. Our priorities are different. We are focusing more on other things, but we are neglecting, unfortunately, someday or the other, we are neglecting education and health, these two sectors. Then the purpose of, basically the purpose of this day, why we are celebrating this International Day of Education. This day is basically, to mobilize young people, youth, activists, especially, to maintain strong mobilization around education, and they can, basically take their initiatives towards strengthening, whatever they can contribute towards, betterment of the education. I mean, it's not only the responsibility of the non-government organization, or it's not only the responsibility of UN special agencies to contribute towards the education or the agenda of quality education. Because I think if we can further clarify, so we can understand that quality education is something else. Or if we say getting an education, that is another thing. So quality education means that education, after getting that education, you will be able to survive. You will be able to get a good job or something, or maybe you will be skilled. So I can say that quality education somehow refers to the education that is based on skill, but unfortunately we are focusing on other areas. But as far as Pakistan is concerned, for example, if the people or the students or the children, those who are, not very rich, they are not going to school, they can't afford. So I think basic education is the only option for them. And I think in that basic education, after that, we have to provide them the quality education. I think this thing is missing in our country, and even I can say even in our capital, Islamabad as well, that we are not focusing on quality education. What we are giving to our children, is it beneficial for them? But at least, in a first step, what we can do, we can give them the basic education. And after that, in the second step, we can give them, any kind of skilled expertise, so that they can sustain themselves and they can survive. So this was basically my, remarks about today's day that is very important about education. I will just give you, I will take few more minutes to tell you about our today's activity. So we basically in the morning today visited a school that is, adjacent to the sector of D12. It is the name of that location is Sarai Karbuza, and we visited that school, and that contains almost, I think, 50 children, those who are studying there. So we provided them with stationery items, notebooks, coloring books, colors, pencils, sharpeners, and other, stationery items to them. And that was, the contribution of the team of Youth Diplomacy Forum. So the team of Youth Diplomacy Forum, they contributed, and then we organized this, we can say, donation drive in that school. And also that school is run by an NGO, youth-based NGO, Youth Association of Pakistan, and they are running this school, I think, from last around 10 years. So children go there, they get basic education, and then they move towards for primary, secondary, and then to colleges. So basically, they are providing them the basic education. So at least they are doing their, I think they are doing their best as per their capacity, and we are contributing in it. But I think, again, I would say that the agenda of UN 2030 about education is not only education, but quality education. So I think we have to focus on that how we can provide quality education to our children, even those who are not, studying, or who are not being taught in schools. So how we can, take them in the mainstream. For example, those who are not in the schools, we can provide them basic education of schools, and then we can move towards the education that is based on skills. So I think one of my suggestion or recommendation would be that we have to focus on skill-based education. And as far as my understanding about it is that skill-based education is more important rather than giving just a education that is not helpful for them in terms of economic, you can say, sustainability. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, everyone.